What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Monday, June 12th, and the mandatory portion of the offseason is almost completely concluded for the Washington Commanders. Tomorrow is the last time we're going to see or hear anything about the football team. Football aspects, at least. We know we're going to hear stuff about the ownership stuff, but tomorrow's the last time we're going to see the players until the end of July and training camp start. Knock on wood, hopefully we get a Hard Knocks announcement by then, because word on the street says the Saints, Bears, and Jets don't want it, but they are including us, one of the four teams that cannot deny it or cannot turn it down if it's offered to them. But we're at that point of the offseason where we just got to fish for everything possible about the team to talk to, because we're not going to see these guys in helmets, pads, or doing anything football related to the last week of July, because training camp always gets started the last week of July. But it's an annual tradition like no other. It's like a holiday when Adam Rank does his NFL record predictions. He drops a 45-minute to 1 hour special on NFL Network, making season predictions for every team. And there are two things that are guaranteed every year on Adam Rank's record prediction special. He's a Chicago Bears fan. I think he's born and raised in Chicago. I think he's still based out of there. He's always going to pick Chicago to be much better than they're actually going to be. And he's always going to pick Washington to be fucking garbage. There is deep-rooted hatred and disdain that Adam Rank holds for this franchise. And I'm curious to see if it continues after Dan Snyder is officially out of here. Is he going to do this every year going forward? Because the guy talks about and treats Washington like Dan Snyder took his prom date in high school. Like, there's some deep-rooted hatred, and I want to know where it originates. I got to get to the bottom of this. I got to get Adam Rank on the show, because I want to know why he hates Washington so much. So last year, he picked us to go 3-14. And this year, he picked us to be 2 games better. We actually won 8 games last year. Not nothing to run home about, but we were 5 games better than your prediction last year. And then you predicted us to be 2 games better, which is now 5-12. Doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears, his beloved Chicago Bears, who had an awesome schedule release video, by the way. The Bear, if you don't watch it on Hulu, phenomenal show. They did their schedule release based off an episode of The Bear. Great stuff. Love it. But the football team, let's not forget, because they traded the number 1 overall pick. They were the worst team in the NFL last year. The worst team. They picked number 1, numero uno, in the NFL draft in May. And he has them winning 12 fucking games this year. I understand that shadow, that villain, that cloud that hung over the NFC North every year. Aaron Rodgers is no longer in that division. But 12 games for a team that won 3 last year, I understand they blew like $80 million in free agency. I understand they got more help coming in from the draft. And I understand that Justin Fields is going to take his next step in ascension into one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Last year, he set the record for QB rushing. Understand it all. You can't look at the Chicago Bears roster and tell me it's better than ours, bro. Fuck out of here, Adam Rank. Hell no. I love Justin Fields. I wanted him out of college. Love him. He's still unproven other than his legs. I know the arm's there, and I know he was throwing the ball to insurance salesmen the last couple years. But how do you look at our roster? How do you feasibly look at the Washington Commanders roster and give us 5 wins? Our prediction show is coming up soon. We're trying to get it scheduled, a lot of moving parts. We're going to make our record prediction, so I'm not going to get into mine. But all I'm saying is, when you predict for this team, you got to at least start with Ron's lucky number. Lucky number 7. It's the number that has followed Ron through the duration of his career. If there's anything we know about a Ron Rivera football team, they gonna win 7 games. They gonna win 7 games, bruh. We almost did it in a third different style since he's been here. You know, we did it the 7-9 route when there were 16 games, the 7-10, and last year we almost went 7-8. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've won 7 games everywhere you can think of it, but last year we won 8. 1 game step up, and somehow we're going back to 5. Oh, Sam Howell's unproven. I mean, we thought Carson Wentz maybe could do something with us, but motherfucker, Carson Wentz was unproven last year. Him and Heineke. How we get worse, bruh? How did we get worse? We're getting Chase Young back, who hopefully produces for us this year. We got some dogs entering the secondary from the draft, and Forbes and Quan Martin. The line can't get any worse than it was last year. We were signing centers off the fucking street. We was picking them up from Congress Heights off Southeast. Hey, we need a big body on the field, because that's what we were doing last year. We were just shuffling the deck on the offensive line week by week. Hey, quarterback, here's your center for the week. Make it work. We're not doing that this year. I'm not saying the line is a strength now, but it's significantly upgraded from last year as long as guys stay healthy, and the depth should be better. And Sam Howell, at minimum, is going to give us the QB play we saw last year. And it's so base level and the bar is so low. He doesn't have to do much at all to be as good as what we've seen from both of those guys last year. And there's arm talent is there. The guy's polished. Like, all he has to do is look adequate-ish, adequate adjacent. He doesn't have to be some world beater. The roster's good. We have one of the best skill groups in the league. Not many teams have a Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, and Curtis Samuel. I don't know what we're getting from the tight end position, but Cole Turner's down from 14% body fat to 9%. He's healthy. He's in better shape. Logan Thomas looks like he's not dragging his leg around like a carcass this year. And the running backs, we got the guy who knows running backs better than anybody, Eric Bieniemy, coming in to coach this offense. We got better at OC. We got weapons. And I'm going to go out and say it. We got better at quarterback. The defense is already good. I know defensive stats can, in total defense and all that, it can be a little misleading, and they can skew the numbers a little bit, cook the books a little bit. But we're third in total defense last year. Defense got better with Forbes and Martin. We got to see what Cody Barton is. You know who I know he's better than? John Bostic, David Mayo. Cam Curl's healthy this year. Derek Forrest is coming off that year 2 leap, and I'm going to be doing a video about who the next breakout stars for Washington is, because it's pretty clear who those 2 guys are right now based on everything we've heard this offseason. But Adam Rink, he predicts us to be ass every year, and one year he almost hit it on the head back in 2019 when he predicted us to go 2-14. We ended up going through 3-13 that year. So he almost hit it on the head one time, but he's only picked us to be good once. And that was in 2021, and it's because he has a relationship and a rapport with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Oh, I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm giving Washington 10 wins that year. Really? This roster better than that roster, bro. This roster is better. And we like that schedule was harder. Like, that schedule, we ran through the entire gauntlet of elite quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Like, this guy has us winning our first game versus Arizona and losing 5 in a row. 1-5. If that happens, Ron Rivera will be handing his key card to Eric Bieniemy, and we will be in interim coach mode 6 weeks through the season. But what I will say, if we're not good, I hope Adam Rank is right. I hope it's less than 5 wins if we're not good. I need us to win 10 games plus or be trash, basura, garbage. I need us to be 10 plus or to win like 1 through 4 games. I need us in position for Drake May or Caleb Williams if the season goes to hell and Sam Howell isn't him. If Howell ain't him, give me one of them. Caleb or May. That's the motto for the season. If Howell ain't him, give me one of them. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Quinn Ewers. I'm not talking about Michael Penis or whatever the fuck his name is. I'm not talking about Bo Nix. I'm talking about Drake May or Caleb Williams. Make the playoffs or secure one of those, or at least be in striking distance of a trade-up possibility like the Panthers did this year. But I don't see anyone trading out of the 1 pick unless it's a team with like Burrow or Mahomes. They missed the season due to injury or something. But I'm not even going to wish that evil on them, so I'm going to knock on woods to that. I hope we can prove Adam Rank wrong. He hates Washington, and hopefully one day He answers my DMs or my email so I can get him on the show because I want to know where his deep-rooted hatred for Washington comes from. But speaking of deep-rooted things, man, I want to talk about a stat I saw yesterday that I mention on the show all the time. Like, there are some things we mention. There are some points and some things about my fandom, fan life here in Washington that I bring up all the time. And there's a reason to it. There's a method to my madness. It's like I'm trying to reverse psych the world into letting this team see success. I mention this almost every time I step in front of a microphone, and that's that Washington hasn't won 11 games since my birth year, 1991. The Washington Redskins went 14-2, was the number one offense and defense in the league, one of the best three teams in NFL history, and won the Super Bowl that year. 14-2. Have not won 11 games since. They've not even won 10 in a good, consistent fashion. It always comes with the end of season Mickey Mouse win streak. But saying it and seeing it is two different things. You can say things and it don't hit and strike your core like seeing it in the flesh. And I think the 33rd team, they dropped this graphic yesterday. And it says every team's last 11 plus win season. And it just fucked my whole Sunday up because I know when the last time my team won 11 games was, because it's a year that means something to me. It was the year I came on this earth. It was the year I came into existence. That means I've been watching this fucking football team for, let's call it like 25 years, because we're not going to call the first 5 or 6 years of my life as fandom because I was a fucking child. But I started playing when I was 6, started understanding the game around 7, 8 years old. I have not, with my own 2 eyes, witnessed my favorite football team win 11 games one time. Yet you still see me in front of this camera, in front of this microphone, repping this team with my whole goddamn heart. Love them. Bleed burgundy and gold into the death of me. But it's like, God damn, when is our time coming? I see what y'all do for others, football gods. I want this for us. Look at how depressing this fucking list is. Look at every team's last 11-win season. We're the only team that says 1900s, bruh. This sounds like some prehistoric Mesozoic shit. Like, what are we talking about? Every team on this list has done it in the modern world of football. We in the 1900s, bruh. The 1900s. We have not won 11 games one time, bro. Jesus Christ. Look at this. 21, 16, 20, 22, 17, 18, 22, 20, 22. That's just fucking depressing. The Browns, the Jags. I've seen the Jags go to an AFC championship game. I've seen Blake Bortles throw for 37 touchdowns. We're going to get to the touchdown number from quarterbacks in just a second. I've seen the Browns win games. I've seen everybody come into prominence at least once. I've seen the butt-fumble New York Jets with Mark Sanchez at quarterback go to back-to-back AFC championship games. I don't even remember what the divisional round looks like because we ain't been there since 2005. 2005, my guy. Sean Taylor, God rest his soul, was alive in the flesh in the field, bro. He was out here grinding, scoring touchdowns and winning playoff games. 2005, 18 years ago, the whole lifeline of a child was the last time we saw a playoff game. I was less than 1 year old last time my favorite football team won 11 games. So every fan born in 91 or after, you've never seen this team actually be good one time. Every time we won 10 games, it was fluky. It was never, we're good in September, and it carried throughout the season. 2005, we were 5-6. Won 5 games in a row to 10-6. Clinched, got to the playoffs off of it. 2012 with RG3, last time we won double-digit games. We were 3-6 and won 7 in a row. The Mickey Mouse win streak lasted for 2 months because we had a Mickey Mouse offense designed by Kyle Shanahan. We're not going to talk about how all of that went down. We know how it does, and y'all know how I feel about the situation. But this is easily the most depressing drought/stat any NFL team has, and I would love to see another NFL fan of their respective team argue me that there's a more depressing stat than this. And I'll give you stat number two. Stat number two that pairs with this perfectly. It's like a perfect wine and cheese combination. Not only have we not won 11 games since the 1900s, we have not had a quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns in 56 years. I did not stutter. 56 years. Good old Sonny Jurgensen, 1967. Last quarterback to throw for 30 touchdowns here. Kirk was close. He had 28 or 29. That's disgusting, bro. I think the only other team that exists like this is the Cleveland Browns. Brian Sipe threw for 30 touchdowns in like 1980. But 1967, football wasn't in color yet. High definition was not a thought. I didn't even know motherfuckers could throw a football in 1967. Did they even have face masks on helmets yet? We haven't had a quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns in none of our lives, bro. You got to be 60 to have seen that shit. My father was a teenager when he did that. My dad old as shit out here. He going to be 70 this year. He going to be 70. He was 13 the last time we had a quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns. This shit must come to an end because these are the saddest fucking drought / statistics that exist in pro football and possibly sports history. Debate your mother. This is depressing, bruh. So when you see a Washington fan still repping that burgundy and gold and still bleeding, and when you see a Washington fan objectively critical of his team, don't call him a hater. Don't say, oh, he's just a pessimistic, negative fan. He don't see optimism. You can keep it real. I think there's a fair balance and gray area of positivity and negativity that you have to sit in the middle and objectively play both sides of it, because you need to hold the team accountable, but you also need to give the team their flowers when they give you a reason to. Things are trending in the right direction, but we got to see it with our own eyes. We got to see it in 4K, because 1967, 1991. Last time we seen an 11-win team. Last time we seen a 30-touchdown quarterback. Dan Snyder is gone. The devil that sits atop this organization, the dweeb, is out of our fucking lives forever. So I expect karma to come back on our side now, and I expect to see things change. Will it happen this year? Who knows? I don't think I'm going to ever predict an 11-win season again until I see it. I'm treating that shit like witchcraft and sorcery. Do I know that it's real? Who knows? But I'm not going to play games with it. I'll wait till I see it to believe it, like magic, baby. That's all I got for right now. Football gods, I see what you do for others. I want that for us. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. Commander Rio, out.